Regan Slaymaker for International Boxing News, and I have the pleasure to be joined by my first interview with Mr. Adam Morallee. Oh, there we go, water pendant.
Oh, thanks, mate.
With Adam Morallee. Adam, how are you? We're here. The press conference actually happened, mate.
Yeah, it did. I'm really happy it's happened. I think 2:29 today. I didn't think this fight was happening in the press conference, but we got everything sorted, everything over the line. Derek turned up, got lost at King's Cross Station. A member of the public found him, brought him here, which was very nice. And he walked into the press conference late.
To be fair to him, King's Cross Station is rather big, so fair enough, fair play to him. But yeah, Joe Joyce versus Derek Chisora. Adam, why was this the right fight for Joe moving forward?
I think that Joe needed a big fight. And when the Warren said 27th of July 02, Joe can headline. Who should we have there? We go through the rankings, and Bakole stood out to me. WBA #1. Been a lot of chat, history there. Good fighter. That was the first fight on the list, actually. And then Derek Chisora for obvious, well-known reasons. We negotiated both of them in parallel, and then the Bakole fight just became too difficult to make, and Chisora it was.
Definitely as well. It's fair to say that obviously, I know Bakole's obviously based himself in the UK for a long time, but everyone knows who Chisora is. It's a massive, massive domestic fight.
I think Joyce Chisora sells way better than Joyce Bakole. Bakole has the WBA #1 slot, which is very appealing to us. But Joyce Chisora is a big fight. It's two recognisable names. If you ask people in the UK, name 10 boxers, they'll probably name Joyce and Chisora.
Definitely as well. I do want to touch on kind of the Martin Bakole kind of scenario. I saw Billy Nelson did pipe up today. I mean, talk to me one obviously this situation, the history, the leaked sparring footage, the then full sparring footage. When all that gets kind of pieced in, kind of what do you kind of make of it, especially when you're involved in the management side of things?
Look, I've got respect for Martin Bakole as a boxer. I like Billy Nelson as a person. I like the rest of Martin's management team. I think they're good people. I think Martin has beaten people put in front of him, but hasn't had a lot of lucky breaks, let's say that. I feel sad. It's a little bit, whoever's putting that stuff out, it's a little bit desperate to put out that footage. The reaction this morning, people leaking stories that Joe turned the fight down, pictures put up. This is what Joe does when he's got to fight Martin Bakole. It's just desperation, isn't it? It's not true. First and foremost, Joe wanted that fight. We wanted both fights. We told Queensbury that. Queensbury went off and did it. So Joe wants that fight. We'd have that fight in September. If Martin's a free agent, sign into Matchroom, do him on the 5v5. We do that fight. Joe wants that fight. So it's absolute nonsense to suggest he's run away from Bakole. This is boxing, this is business, and we've got to get fights nailed down. It's my job as a manager to get Joe Joyce boxing and paid. That's what I've done.
You definitely have, and the Chisora fight is a massive fight, easy sell as well. I do want to move on to another massive fight that you guys have announced. I mean, the Bull versus the Savage, the Copper Box Arena. What a fight, Johnny Fisher, Alen Babic.
Excited. I'm very excited for that fight, and I think the public are excited for it. I think we're going to see Johnny Fisher step up. I think he already steps up against Harry Armstrong, and I think Johnny Fisher is improving rapidly at a really serious rate of knots. I think already he is at that British level, in my opinion. But the fight against Babic, I think Babic brings a lot of power, and brings that knockout. But I think Johnny Fisher disposes of him early and relatively easily.
Too big, too strong?
Too big, too strong.
Definitely as well. One thing that's evident, I think people forget about Alen Babic. He fought for a world title 2 fights ago as well. I mean, how big of a win will this be for Johnny Fisher?
I think the thing about matchmaking is when your fighter goes in there and they beat someone, you want them to get the credit for it. The worst thing you can do as a manager is put your guy in against someone really difficult who they beat, they get no credit for, they lose, it looks terrible. I think this is the right fight for Johnny because Babic is of a good level. I don't think he's world level in the heavyweight division, but he's a good level, trains hard, top pro, knocked a lot of people out. When Johnny beats him, he'll get the credit he deserves.
Definitely, I think he will as well. I want to move on to Junaid Bostan, if that's all right as well. I mean, fantastic performance against Jack Martin in Liverpool. And then a bit of an altercation at York Hall. I mean, sum up that win against Jack Martin, but then also the same situation that happened during Tommy Fletcher's fight.
Yeah, look, I think Junaid against Jack Martin, I think Junaid showed what he's all about. I think the Gordy Russ fight was difficult for him. I think 2-3 rounds in, he had to do 8 rounds and he wasn't too sure about it. And against Jack Martin, he was there knowing he could do that, and that was important, knowing he could do those rounds. So important for boxers, young boxers, to have tough fights. It was important for Johnny when he had a fight earlier in his career where he cut his eye and went the distance with Nguema. it was important for Junaid Bostan, and I think he really showed his class there. I think he was beating Jack Martin every round, and then beautiful uppercut to finish it off, switched him off. Great result for him there. And then afterwards I said to Junaid, chill out, come down to London, go on TalkSport, come watch Tommy Fletcher box. And I couldn't see him when Tommy was boxing. I was like, where are you, Junaid? And he'd had this altercation with the fails. I think he took 3 people on at once. But it was just a bit of handbags, nothing actually happened. But it does set up a potentially intriguing matchup, WWE style, between Junaid Bostan and Ben and Carl Fale.
I'm surprised that Misfits haven't been calling for the tag team event. That'd be great as well. July the 20th, there was another press conference today. Your man Sol Dacres, the English heavyweight champion. David Adeleye, what a fight that is.
Great fight, and it's a shame David wasn't there. Saw David afterwards. I rate him highly. He's in the top 4 of the British heavyweights. So, below Joe, Derek, Dillian, all those guys. AJ Fury. He's in there. It's going to give Sol Dacres one hell of a fight, but Sol Dacres will show his class.
He definitely will. What a fight. The 2 cruiserweights in the S-Jam stable. I want to talk about John Hedges and Tommy Fletcher. When can we see them back out?
John Hedges, fight news pending. Hopefully you'll be hearing soon about him coming on to Johnny's undercard. We've got a great fight there. And Tommy Fletcher, I don't think he'll make it onto Joe's undercard, but we're looking to step Tommy up. We're looking to step John up as well. It's time in those careers for those boys to take that next step, and hopefully we'll see that for them both next.
Definitely as well. We'll touch on Florian Marku. Minor injury, I think, after an injury after the Chris Kongo fight. What do you think's next for him?
He has quite a major injury. It was his hand, and he had to have it operated on, and he couldn't really throw it in the fight, as you could see it. We're looking at a Kongo rematch. We like it. We like that fight with 2 hands. We've spoken to Kongo's team. A lot of respect for them. I thought it was a career best performance from Kongo. Deservedly won the fight. I had it scored just him. We'd like to replay that.
Definitely, I look forward to seeing that one again. And the final one from me, Nicola Barke as well. When can we see her long anticipated Queensberry debut?
Nicola, we're going to announce her debut very shortly, and she should be making her debut in June for Queensberry.
Perfect. Adam Morallee, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Cheers. Cheers, mate.